Well, folks, we're back. Back in the dystopian circus that is American politics. Last night, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump finally faced off. It was the first presidential debate of the 2024 election. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. If by disappoint you mean make you question the very fabric of reality, this debate was always going to be a doozy. We've got Trump back in the ring, gloves off, ready to rumble. On the other side, we have Kamala Harris. She's a seasoned politician with a sharp wit and a stare that could curdle milk. The stakes? Oh, just the future of American democracy. No biggie. The pressure was on. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. And things got heated. Fast. With every passing second, the countdown to the election looms larger. Social media exploded, with reactions ranging from shock to outright disbelief. Analysts are already dissecting every word, every gesture, every moment. Voters across the nation are glued to their screens, trying to make sense of it all. This debate will go down in history, joining the ranks of the most memorable showdowns. The moderators had their hands full, trying to keep things on track. As the night wore on, the stakes only seemed to get higher. And as the clock struck midnight, the first round came to a close. The audience left with much to ponder, the future of the nation hanging in the balance. The night may be over, but the battle for the White House has just begun. Tomorrow's headlines will be ablaze with the fallout from tonight's events. One thing is for sure, this is just the beginning of a long, intense journey. Stay tuned, folks. The road to the White House is just heating up. We all knew Trump wouldn't be able to resist bringing up his favorite topic, the 2020 election. It's like a broken record at this point, isn't it? Every time he gets a platform, he just can't help but dive right back into it. You know, the one he lost, the one that's been certified and recertified, scrutinized and analyzed, yet he still can't accept the outcome. Yeah, that one. Right out of the gate, he was off to the races. It was almost as if he had been waiting for this moment to rehash all his old grievances, claiming, without evidence, widespread voter fraud. He's been saying it for so long, it's almost like he believes it himself. He doubled down on his claims that the election was rigged. No matter how many times it's been debunked, he just keeps pushing the same narrative. He even threw in some new conspiracy theories for good measure. It's like he's got a never-ending supply of them. Because, you know, why not? It's not like he needs actual proof or anything. Just throw it out there and see what sticks. And immigration? Don't even get me started. It's his other favorite topic to stir the pot. Trump went full-on fear-mongering mode. He painted a picture so grim, you'd think the country was on the brink of collapse. He painted a picture of a country overrun by criminals and bad hombres. It's the same old scare tactics he's been using for years. Never mind the fact that immigrants commit crimes at a lower rate than native-born Americans. Facts? Who needs them? It's all about the narrative, right? The scarier, the better. Now, to her credit, Kamala Harris didn't take any of Trump's nonsense lying down. She stood her ground with unwavering confidence. She came armed with facts and receipts. Every claim she made was backed by solid evidence. She systematically dismantled Trump's claims, point by point. It was a meticulous takedown. It was like watching a masterclass in debate prep. Her preparation was evident in every response. On the economy, Harris hammered home the message that Trump's policies only benefit the wealthy. She didn't shy away from calling out the disparities. She pointed to the widening gap between the rich and the poor. The statistics she presented were alarming, and she highlighted the struggles of everyday Americans, from job losses to rising living costs. She covered it all. Healthcare, another slam dunk for Harris. She was relentless in her critique. She reminded everyone of Trump's repeated attempts to repeal the Affordable Care Act. This was a critical point in her argument. You know, the one that provides health insurance to millions of Americans? She made sure no one forgot that. Yeah, that one. Her emphasis was clear and impactful. And climate change? Harris didn't mince words. She was direct and to the point. She called it an existential threat. Her urgency was palpable. And she laid out her plan to invest in renewable energy and combat the climate crisis. Her vision for a sustainable future was compelling and detailed. This debate was a goldmine of quotable moments. Let's be honest, we all knew it would be. It's Trump, after all. Here are just a few of the highlights or lowlights, depending on your perspective. Trump, on the 2020 election, it was stolen from me. Everybody knows it. Harris, in response, Mr. President, with all due respect, that's just not true. Trump, on climate change, it's a hoax, a Chinese hoax. Harris, the American people deserve a president who believes in science. Mic drop. Section 5. Pundits weigh in Axelrod versus Noonan. So what did the experts make of it all? Well, it depends who you ask. David Axelrod, former Obama strategist, gave Harris high marks for her performance. He called her calm, collected, and presidential. Peggy Noonan, on the other hand, wasn't so impressed. The conservative columnist for the Wall Street Journal criticized Harris for being too scripted and lacking in warmth. You know, because apparently being a woman in politics means you have to be both brilliant and bake cookies. It's exhausting. Section 6. Moderators. Between a rock and a hard place. Can we just take a moment to acknowledge the poor souls who had to moderate this thing? They had the unenviable task of trying to keep these two on track. And let me tell you, it was like herding cats. Trump interrupted constantly. He shouted over Harris. He even refused to answer direct questions. It was a masterclass in how to be a terrible debate opponent. The moderators did their best to wrangle the chaos, but it was like trying to hold water in their hands. Section 7. The people have spoken. Kind of. So, who won the debate? Well, that depends who you ask. Post-debate polls showed a deeply divided electorate. Some polls gave Harris a slight edge, while others showed the race as a dead heat. What does this tell us? Honestly, not a whole lot. We're still in the early stages of the race, and anything can happen between now and November. Section 8. Unity versus division. A tale of two Americas. One thing's for sure. This debate highlighted the deep divisions in American society. Harris called for unity and progress. She appealed to our better angels. Trump, on the other hand, doubled down on the same old divisive rhetoric that got him elected in the first place. It's a tale of two Americas, one that's hopeful and forward-looking, and one that's angry, resentful, and clinging to the past. Section 9, the long road ahead. What's next? So, where do we go from here? Well, the good news is we have 2 more presidential debates to look forward to. The bad news, they're probably going to be just as chaotic and divisive as this one. Buckle up, America. It's going to be a bumpy ride.